Hello and welcome. Today we have an iPhone 8 Plus. This is one we actually bought, and it's literally just the cracked glass on the screen. It's the original screen. The LCD is absolutely fine. The touch is fine. It should be a fairly straightforward one, actually. We paid, I'm thinking £200. I bought it a few weeks ago and haven't got around to doing it or making any videos, to be honest. It's just being too busy. But yeah, we probably paid higher than we should have done. I reckon I could have got them down to maybe 180, but I thought I'll give them the 200 and it'll be an easy fix. The outer edge of the housing and the back glass is nearly spotless. It came fully boxed with the original Apple plug unused, still wrapped, and charging cable unused, still wrapped. So and unlocked. I hope it was a good buy. We should be looking at around about 3 to maybe 330 for it. That's what I'm aiming for. So. We're not going to change the full display. We're going to do a glass only because we can, and it keeps the original screen that came with the phone. And I'm a bit of a stickler for original parts, but especially with the 8 Plus and upwards, I try to de-recommend non-original screens. And any phone that we get in to refurbish and sell, I will only, if it's an Apple phone, and Samsung, any of them really, if I'm selling it, the replacement parts have to be original, or screens at least. You can maybe get away with a speaker or a charging port, but for the display it has to be original. I personally wouldn't sell one with a non-original screen, especially an 8 or an 8 Plus, because the non-original screens, they're a lot thicker. They don't sit well in the housing. The colour, they're just not good in my opinion. You can get away with it on the 7s, 6s. It's not too bad. I'd still recommend, in fairness, for a 7 to always use an original screen. But that said, you can get it with the 8. No, we offer it at the shop, but that's simply because every other repair place locally, 90% of them only use non-original copy screens. They don't even offer the original Apple ones, strangely enough. So we do offer them as well as the original refurbished displays, simply to be able to compete with the non-originals. But that said, we offer the original displays for almost the same price. A lot of places locally will offer a non-original display. Obviously, as we refurbish them in-house, we can do them a lot cheaper than any of the local places. And the couple that do use genuine screens, obviously they have to charge more because they have to pay more for them, as they don't refurbish them themselves. But if you are thinking of getting a non-original screen on an 8 or an 8 Plus, I'd think twice. Pay the extra £20-30, get an original Apple display. You won't regret it. Anyhow, we've stripped the display, we've taken off the speaker, front camera assembly, yada yada. Home button off again. Be careful with the home button. If you damage it, you will never get Touch ID back. You can get the home button functions back with a modded home button, but the Touch ID is gone. When it's gone, it's gone. Unless you're gonna really mess around, changing either the board or changing chips on the board, which it isn't worth it. Now, I did do a terrible job of the tape. You want it to be flat, otherwise it might not hold too well on the vacuum heat plate, which you will see in a minute. It doesn't hold great, but it was okay. We are cutting the edges, cutting the corners now, so that we can have a clean, crisp frame removal. Originally, I used to try removing the frames a long time ago now, on the heat mats, vacuum heat mat, which you can only put to around 85 degrees, and for no more than a minute is my advice, simply because you don't want to damage the LCD. And it didn't really melt the glue enough on the frames to remove. Like, it was hard work pulling them off. And to be completely honest, you'd often catch bits of glass or do damage to the LCD. This little thing here, the frame remover, this is a must-have. If you're gonna do it, you've got to get it. I mean, they come off so easy. We set this to 230 degrees, and it's literally seconds. It heats just the outer edge, so the LCD isn't getting hot, or very hot at least, and it peels off like butter. It makes it so much easier than trying to do it directly from the vacuum heat. This thing here, again, this particular model, the 5-in-1, again, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't ever use it for the polarizer removing. It's one of those machines where I'm using it at the minute for the vacuum mat, for the vacuum part, what you're seeing now. It does a little bit of everything, but nothing very well. And as you saw there, the LCD was actually moving. That was due to not really getting the tape very flat, so we had to be really gentle with it. Again, the piece of video where I show you lining up on the laminating molds, I couldn't find it. I did film it and it's just vanished, so it missed that. But it's gone into the machine, it's laminated to the glass. We're going to give it a quick test. The bubble removing's been done. There's no bubbles or marks or anything untoward. Check the touch. Obviously there's no home button attached, so we're using the assistive touch for the moment. Yeah, it's all fine. The colours are great. It's in essence a brand new screen, a genuine Apple. Test a bit of Fleetwood Mac just because. So now this is the phone fully reassembled, speakers, home button, everything else. It's all functioning perfectly, and I guess we better get it sold. Will it make a profit? I'm sure it will. But all in all, we paid $200 for it. The glass, the frame, ochre, polarizer, it worked out about £4, so £204, iPhone 8 Plus, unlocked, boxed. I think that's a pretty good deal, to be fair. I don't know, what do you think? Would you pay £204 for an iPhone 8 Plus?